Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for logging on to CBSDenver.com and CBS in Denver. Time for a few more minutes with our Xfinity Monday live guest, Broncos offensive lineman Dalton Risner. Nice enough to join us. Dalton, you're down in Dallas right now training. When you look at your last season, what did you want to improve on this offseason as you head into you're number 3 now in the NFL?
Oh, man, being out here in Dallas was a big move for me, just making sure that I work out with new guys, make sure I push myself. I never get complacent in the area that I'm in. So this move has been great for me so far. In terms of looking back on the season, I've actually had a lot of time out here to watch my tape from 2019, watch my tape from 2020. I look back and I had no penalties. I had no sacks, things that you can really hang your hat on. But when you go back and watch the film, I see so many things. I'm like, man, I want to clean that up. I don't want to get too detailed into offensive lineman talk because people won't understand it. But it's literally just minor footwork things that I'm trying to clean up, whether it's drifting on a pass set, making sure that I'm not just winning my battles by being a competitor, but I'm doing it with the right technique to make things easier on me and my body. I want to continue to finish more and drive guys into the ground. I think I do a good job of making contact, not having missed assignments. But, my guy might get into the play 5 or 6 yards down the field, or I might not finish a guy and lock him out, and my guy might get tackled for 2 yards, Melvin or Phillip might, and instead of running for 40 or 50 yards. So there's a few minor things, man. I'd say footwork, finishing on my blocks, consistency, those things are the areas I'm really trying to work on, as well as strength and speed and staying in shape.
Yeah, really looking forward to seeing what's next for you. It feels like every year you guys on that offensive line take another step, and I'm talking about you, Garrett Bowles. Obviously got you Lloyd Cushenberry coming back for year number 2. I think it's going to be a really, really fun offense for that Denver Broncos team. Dalton, on the other side of the ball, George Paton has come in, and he's made some really big moves on the defensive side of things. When you look at what he's done, Shelby Harris, Justin Simmons, Kyle Fuller, Ronald Darby, what goes through your mind as you're sitting there seeing your GM make all these moves in free agency on the other side of the ball?
It's exciting, man. One, I don't like to see too many of our teammates having to leave, but 2, we've had 2 years in a row where we haven't met expectations while I've been on the team. And I know that something needs to change. I know that we need to play better and we need to execute better. So it's great to see these moves. It's great to see us paying guys like Justin Simmons, keeping Kareem Jackson at home, bringing in some guys that can really help us play, keeping Von Miller on the defensive line, paying Shelby Harris. I think we've made a lot of moves, man, that can help us be very successful. The defensive side of the ball is looking stacked, and I've been seeing that on social media as well. It looks like we've really taken care of that side of the ball. And personally, on the other side, I'm not even mad that we haven't brought anyone in because I think that we have the talent. I know that we have the talent to be very successful. I think on the offensive side of the ball, it's more about execution, more about that camaraderie as an offense, making sure that we work together to be more successful. So I say this every year. I'll say this every interview because I'm a Bronco through and through. I'm just so dang excited to get ready and play again, man, and have a successful season.
Hey, Dalton, a lot of guy who's getting a lot of attention. One guy who's getting a lot of attention, I should say, is Drew Lock, right? We know that's going to happen in that quarterback spot. Have you talked to Drew at all this offseason? And if you have, what can you share about those conversations?
Yeah, man, I talked to Drew a lot. That's been my boy. He was my boy back in day one when we got drafted back-to-back. We were roommates throughout all of camp and OTAs. We got extremely close, not just to Drew, but to his family as well. And it's not a secret right now, Michael, that he's under a lot of pressure and that right now he's under a lot of scrutiny as well. I have one game where I don't think I play very well, and I see one person comment on how I play, and it destroys me because I take so much pride in my work and my job and what I do 365 days out of the year. So then you look at Drew Lock, I feel for him. And some people can have their opinions, which is great. People might say, well, that's your job. You need to play at a high level. And I totally agree with that. I can just imagine the type of pressure that he's under, the amount of scrutiny that he's under. And one thing I will tell you, the reason I brought that up is because I think there's 2 types of people in this world. I think when people get put under pressure, one, people that put their head up and they work through it and it makes them great, kind of like pressure makes diamonds. And I think there's 2, other side of person, and that person is the one that folds. It's too much pressure, puts his head between his legs, becomes someone that doesn't want anything to do with it and walks the other way with his head held down because he's not about it. And one thing I've seen with Drew this offseason is he's held his head high. He isn't shying away from any of it. He's accepting it. He's smiling about it. He knows he has to perform. He knows he has to be better. I've seen him in the gym working out, doing an extremely good job. Drew has called me 15 or 20 times the last 2 months asking me about offensive line scheme and things that he needs to understand better. He's trying to understand the offensive line blocking concepts and what we do at a higher level. That way he can help audible. He doesn't just have to know his stuff. He wants to know the whole offense, exactly what we do on every play. I couldn't imagine having to understand all that. So as you can tell, I'm passionate about it, man. He's my QB. He's QB1 right now for me. And I think there's a lot of belief in him with George Payton, with the whole Broncos organization, and I think that he can be our guy. And he knows he has to step up. We know he has to step up, but guess what? I have to step up. Who am I to tell anybody that they have to do better at their job? I don't think there's one guy on our football team that can look at someone else and say they need to play better. Because if there was, we want to be 5-11. I think that we all have things to work on. And if we as a team can just focus on what we have to do better as the guys out there on the field, the 11 guys, then we'll be fine. We just can't be worried about what other positions need to do better, because guess what? I made mistakes this last year. Everyone on the field, every Broncos have made a mistake. Tom Brady made mistakes last year. I bet Tom Brady's not pointing fingers at his guys. I bet he's focused on what he has to do better. So that's what I'm focusing on. That's what Drew's focusing on. I think that's what we all need to be focused on. And if we do that, I think we can come in and have a really heck of a year.
Love that. Love that. Love that answer from you, man. Hey, I do want to ask you, I see the hat there, Denver Rescue Mission.
Yeah.
You and your fiance are always out doing good in the community. Tell us about what you guys have going on right now. I know this month in particular, you have something special.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that, man. I'm partnered with Athletes for Hope this month, actually with Denver Rescue Mission as well, just making sure that we make sure people around the world are fed. You know, it's National Food Awareness Month, making sure that kids aren't going hungry, families aren't going hungry. So I'm partnered with them this month, making sure that we spread awareness on that and get people to help with the cause. So they can go to Athletes for Hope to check that out. And I really just am wearing this hat. I didn't wear it for any reason. I'm just a big fan of Denver Rescue Mission and what they do in the community. And that's somewhere that me and Whitney love to go. One recommendation for everybody: don't go to Denver Rescue Mission if you're hungry, because you go there and you help prepare meals for people. And I've been there multiple times trying to sneak sandwiches and cookies, and you'll get in a lot of trouble. So you got to make sure you stay away from that.
That's when hungry turns into hangry, and then things go south in a hurry. Hey, man, congratulations on the engagement. As I always say, man, thank you so much for everything that you do in the community. You have so many fans, and it is well deserved. You guys are awesome, and always enjoy having you on.
You're welcome, man. God bless everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, that's going to do it. Thanks so much for logging on to CBSDenver.com and CBS in Denver.